you're so sad? You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Tonight, the stars and cars of the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series. That's a mouthful that I'm going to butcher a bunch this season. Coming to you live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here tonight. Joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. Patrick Byrne. And I'll tell you what, Bizzle, we have had an interesting couple of races to start the season. Man, go back to week number one. Richard Fletcher picking up the win at Daytona. That was insane. Great race last week. Some early cautions, huge green flag run. I think we could possibly see something similar tonight here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, only because it's kind of that similar mile-and-a-half-ish type racetrack.
We absolutely could see a very similar type of race, but this being Las Vegas and this being the year 2023, it's likely we might get a dust storm. It might be more likely we get a snowstorm here tonight, which be a little wild, iRacing implementing snow before rain, but you never know.
Well, tonight will not be snow. 77-degree air temperature, already down to 77-degree track temperature, though. Winds out of the north, they are calm at only 2 miles per hour under partly cloudy skies. That's going to play a big thing here tonight, though. Cool temperatures means a whole lot of horsepower. Cool track should mean a whole lot of grip.
Yeah, especially a place like Vegas in the night. During the daytime, this track is slick, it's understeery, it's miserable. At night, this is a whole different racetrack. It is fun to drive, it is racy. You can get cars 3-4 wide around here, and it's so much fun.
Let's take a look, see who we have that we can pick up out onto the racetrack here. Let's see. Let's bring up the side-by-side for you here. Andrew Moore Jr. is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Lee Campbell on the right. Campbell, a surprise third-place finisher 1 week ago. Man, this place, bad fast. I am looking forward to see what these guys can do tonight. Lap number one, I would assume, Patrick, we're going to see them all the way around the top, get some heat in the tires, get the motors warmed up. Lap two was really where we're going to see the heaters come out.
Maybe, but I've noticed with this new tire model that your first lap is a lot of times your fastest lap, where you want to run a heater on your first lap, and the second lap is really worthless because you're taking all the goodie off the tire. They're not really that fast anymore.
Well, Daniel Pinkston's going to be quick on lap one, 30.794 seconds, 30.816 for Kevin Dick. How about Hunter Waters, the Skull Bandit throwback for the Hunter's Fried Pickles, number 7 Chevrolet Camaro. Lap number 2 for Andrew Moore Jr. after a 31.2. Lap number 2 goes quick time, 30.443 seconds. Now Justin Michael to the top of the boards, over 180 miles per hour. That is a monster first lap for Justin Michael. Let's pick up the 87 as he makes his way off the turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Daniel Pinkston going to be third. Now Troy Haight to fourth. Kevin Dick to fifth. Going to be starting a little bit further back will be the 52. Lap number 1 for Tyler Seville, 30.926. Let's see. Pick up the 28 of Troy Haight making his way down the back stretch on lap number 2. Hunter Waters down over the line. His run is completed. Second quick, only 62 thousandths off the back of Justin Michael. That was a big lap time there for Hunter Waters. Pick up the 41 of Tim Knott. And let's see who else we want to get a hold of here. Pick up Will Worsler in the number 29 machine as he's making his way off at turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Still have 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in qualifications as Craig Stykes, new name to the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series, making his way up to second quick at a 30.353 seconds. Only going to be about 4/100ths off the pace of Justin Michael. Oh, hold on to it, Will. Big slide for Will Worsler in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That will be the end of his qualification run. Let's see who else we can pick up here. Tony Patton out on the racetrack in the number 86. The 52 of Kevin Dick waiting down on pit road, but he's already got both of his laps in. Johnny Avila also out on the racetrack. The 41 of Tim Knott going up to 5th quick at a 30.379. Slide over, get a look at the 63 GM Good Wrench Service Plus entry of Johnny Avila. God, that car looks so good out here under the lights. Avila 12th quick on lap number 1, 30.949 seconds. Also out on the racetrack, let's get a hold of your Daytona champion, Richard Fletcher. I kind of feel like this is a throwback. I like the petty throwback numbers on that 43 machine down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Johnny Avila, lap number 2, only good for 8th quick, 30.450 seconds. Going to be about a 10th and a half off the pace of Justin Michael. Richard Smith the second out on the racetrack. Let's see, that was lap number 1 though for Johnny Avila. See what Avila can do here with lap number 2. He's a guy we don't normally see a ton of laps in practice. He did not turn many laps in the practice session here tonight, but he's Johnny Avila. He's going to be quick every time out. Lap number 2 for Avila is no faster. 30.450 will be the lap time of record for Johnny Avila. Let's see. Kevin Dick still sitting on pit lane. There's Richard Smith the second, making his way off of turn number 2. Getting out onto the racetrack is the number 14 UWE Sports entry of AJ Digby. Coming up as your race winner 1 week ago on the fuel mileage, well, sort of fuel mileage, more tires battle. Patrick, this one really could be interesting tonight here because the word we get from Sam and the admin team here is they're going to have 4 sets of tires tonight. That's going to leave them 1 extra. In some respects, maybe takes a little bit of the strategy out of the game because you know you're going to have that 1 extra set.
Yeah, it does a little bit. However, if we don't get the cautions to put those tires on, is it worth it to dive down pit lane on the green and maybe take the undercut and throw the tires on, or is it better just to stay out there and ride until the fuel tank's empty?
Going on board here with AJ Digby. Man, just barely breathing the throttle through 1 and 2. You can see him working that thing though. Oh, and he kisses the wall. That will be the end of the run. And that looks like it may be the end. Oh, maybe not. There we go. I was going to say, maybe the end of qualifications here as well. We'll see, but I think Digby is going to be done for his run. Down to 3 minutes remaining. Lee Campbell turned all of his laps, and he did not get a lap in the books. Brad Allison was in the session earlier. I saw that he had disconnected. We may not see Brad Allison run here this evening.
Brad Allison is all the way down in Australia, down under, so it takes a long time for that internet signal to get up from there all the way up to Boston to reach everyone else's computer. So it's unfortunate to see him drop, and hopefully he can come back in because it's a lot that can go wrong in that journey.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that can go wrong between here and Australia. I'm not even going to get into making any of those jokes. With that being said, though, looks like we're going to be done qualifications. Justin Michael, Craig Stykes will occupy the front row for tonight's race. That's going to be a little bit interesting here. Two guys that are newer to the series coming into play. How does that screw with what our regular drivers are used to? I mean, you look at their I ratings. Justin Michael, a 45.63, a 51.40 for Craig Stykes. They've been around the block. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're no amateurs. They might be rookies to this league, but they're not rookies to iRacing. They're not rookies to this car, and they're not rookies to racing in general. So these guys are going to be looking to put up a fight and maybe shake things up for the championship battle.
Yeah, talking about that championship battle, looking at the numbers heading into tonight's race. Johnny Avila, a 9-point lead over Kevin Dick. That's just ridiculous. Wait, no, hold on. No. I'm dumb. Let me go find the right league. Well, at least the right season, anyway. Now we got the right point standings up on the screen. Hunter Waters is your point leader by 1 over Johnny Avila. 7 points behind Hunter Waters is Kevin Dick. Troy Haight and Andrew Moore, 15th back. They're going to be tied for the 4th position. Doug Mullins running 6th in points heading into tonight's race, 18 back, followed by Will Worsler, Tyler Seville, Lee Campbell, and Richard Fletcher. Fletch doing a nice job to hold on to that top 10 in points. Biggest mover after last week's race going to be Tyler Seville, sitting on 77 markers. Justin Michael down 9. He has 36 points. After the race at the Auto Club Speedway. Coming up after tonight, we're going to have the Sim Racers Club Desert 175 next week, heading off to Phoenix Raceway. A little bit interesting, and I wonder if this might not be something that gets fixed by the admins, but they normally don't race during build week just because of the absolute carnage and chaos that usually comes with week 13. But we're on the schedule for right now to see the Sim Racers Club Desert 175 from Phoenix Raceway. Follow that up with, hold on. God, I'm getting all sorts of confused here. I'm going to have to pull up the other schedule because the one that I'm seeing on Sim Racer Hub is not the right one. So we'll get the right information for you. But until then, let's take a look. Maybe we can get you an accurate starting grid. That would be a good start. There you go. Starting on the pole for tonight's race with a lap time of 180.793 miles per hour will be the number 87 Daniel Defense Toyota Camry of Justin Michael. Lining up to his outside, the 57 of Craig Stykes, only 39 thousandths of a second back, still over 180.5 miles per hour. Row number 2 will have the Chubbies, number 11 Toyota Camry of Tyler Seville. That car makes me laugh every time I have to say it. 180.5 miles per hour for Seville, lining up alongside the Hunter's Fried Pickles, number 7 Chevrolet Camaro of Hunter Waters.
Hang on, you've got the Chubby's car and the Fried Pickles car starting right next to each other.
Yes, there is a Chubby Pickle joke to be made there, but I'm not going to do it. God, it's so hard to be good. Gunskins, number 41 Toyota Camry and Tim Knott lining up inside of row number 3, alongside the Metabo HPT, number 29 of Will Worsler. Starting on row number 4, this could be a row that your race winner comes from. Andrew Moore Jr. in the 77, lining up alongside the 63 of Johnny Avila. Daniel Pinkston and Troy Haight will share row number 5. Pinkston about 2/10 off, a third of a second back for Troy Haight. Row number 6 will have Richard Fletcher and Kevin Dick. Row 7, Thomas Wilhite and Richard Smith II. Row number 8, AJ Digby and Tony Patton, both of these drivers up over 1 second off the pace in qualifications. Row number 9 will be JD Wardlow and Brad Allison. Lining up on the 10th and final row will be the number 4 of Lee Campbell. Stages tonight will be at lap number 30 and lap number 65. Stage number 2 at lap 65 will have the caution. The fuel run's going to be anywhere from 56 to 58 laps. If this goes green the entire way, this is going to be spectacularly fun to watch. Field making their way off of turn number 4, and as always, race fans, the start of the Sim Speed Shop Premier Series going to be all yours. Holy cow! Oh, now we've got one around backwards. Yeah, we've got a big mess. Good Lord. Caution flag number 1 is out. Andrew Moore Jr. definitely got some of the worst of that. Troy Haight was turned around backwards. Oh, no, and now the car's beached on the transition between the racetrack and the apron. I wonder if somebody will
get him out of there.
Oh, man. Somebody's not going to be able to come around and give him the nudge either, unfortunately. JD Wardlow looked like he may have been involved in that one as well. Man alive. That was, let's see. Pick this up. Yeah, there we go. We got this one already. Fire up the copter cam here. The NRN drone giving you the look off of turn number 2. Johnny Avila, Tim Knott making some contact. They start bouncing around. Avila hits the wall. Knott hits the wall. Andrew Moore Jr. was sliding around all over the place here. He was able to get it wrapped up. But then there's additional contact. Oh, yeah, that's just a whole separate incident. Troy Haight and Andrew Moore Jr. up into the outside safer barrier down the front straightaway. This brings up an interesting conundrum here, Patrick, because what incident was the cause of the caution? Does anybody have to claim the yellow?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm not a steward, because I would say they all have to claim it because they were like 8 separate incidents all within 20 seconds of each other.
Yeah, there was, God, there was ugliness around this one. Taking a look at who is on pit lane. Kevin Dick, AJ Digby, Lee Campbell. Let's see who else. Looks like Richard Smith II was on pit lane. Tony Patton, Andrew Moore Jr., he's going to have a pretty extended repair time. Johnny Avila looks like he's going to have a big repair. Troy Haight, over 120 seconds, now 2 minutes on pit road.
Well, you have to remember that is counting his tow time as well.
Correct. But still, you're still talking about more than 2 minutes of being stationary. Johnny Avila down and away, 38.38 seconds. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look here. Well, there we go. Getting the word from race control. Car 77, R2 penalty, and an EOL. That will be Andrew Moore Jr. as the cause of the yellow flag. So basically, the first one where Johnny Avila and the 41 and Tim Knott were just bouncing off each other, that's just close, hard racing. It may have set up what came later on, but that wasn't the cause of the yellow.
Both guys, they did save it.
Actually, and Andrew Moore saved it as well. Initially. Down the back straightaway, Moore took evasive action. Then it was the contact with the 28 of Troy Haight. That's what actually brought out the yellow flag. So, makes sense on the call there. Will be an EOL penalty for Andrew Moore. That's an R2. I believe it's once you get up to 4 racecraft penalties, that's when you encounter the one race suspensions and some of those kind of things. That'll be a storyline to follow as the season progresses here, but already down for caution number 1 to clear, and we'll go back racing here at lap number 7.
Let's see if this restart's cleaner than the one in the real world. This is really, to me, going to be interesting to watch how this all starts to shake out here, Patrick, because Johnny Avila's car may have a little bit of damage. In fact, it's likely to have some damage with 38 seconds of repair time. Maybe some optionals are still needed. There's some quick cars that were involved in it. I mean, heck, I gave the commentator's curse. Andrew Moore and Johnny Avila, I said, could win the race from row number 4. Now they're going to be lucky to finish close to the top 5. Oh yeah, you commentator cursed them before the green flag even dropped. That's just dirty.
That's impressive. While they're stationary on the grid. That's how you know you're doing your job.
Power.
Yes. The influence that we have. How about a new race leader, Hunter Waters, off of turn number 4. He's going to claim the race lead. And he sets a new fastest lap of the race. Now, we've had one caution flag. That stint that was going to go to lap 56 to 58, potentially now could be as far out as what, lap 60 or 62?
Yeah, if the stage caution come out lap 65, they can only go about 56 to 58 laps, so you're going to have to see a green flag caution before.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. With that first caution flag, that pushes the window out to probably about lap 60.
I don't think it pushes it out far enough.
Follow along here with Johnny Avila making his way back through the field around team boss Will Worsler. He's got Kevin Dick and Daniel Pinkston working side by side just ahead of him as they get off to turn number 1. Top 2, Hunter Waters, Craig Stykes starting to pull away. Oh man, Pinkston with a big shove up towards the outside wall. He wants to be back down on the inside of the racetrack, and he'll get there. Around the 87 of Justin Michael. I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen this mid-pack start to single file out yet. Is that just the nature of Las Vegas and the progressive banking that you can kind of run wherever you want to run?
Yeah, if you feel like the car is best on the top side, you're going to stay at the top side. And on the flip side, if you think it's best on the low side, you'll stay down there too. So, I don't think one line is particularly better than another one. This is one of the great racetracks that both lines are pretty equal.
Taking a look here at Justin Michael, let's bring up the spotlight box on him. Started on the pole, ran obviously in the lead, now running into 5th position. Could we possibly be seeing a little bit of fuel saving out of him to try to make it to the end of stage number 2?
He might be, but even with that bit of fuel saving, I still don't think it's going to be enough. Unless he goes full Johnny Avila last season and just starts cutting the car off in the corners now. But I don't see how you don't go a lap down doing that for 50 laps.
Michael running side by side with Will Worsler. That's the fight for the 5th position off of turn number 2. A little bit further back, Tim Knott and AJ Digby putting on a spirited fight as well. Show you your leaders in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen here, at least briefly anyway. Oh, let's see. This is interesting. Just seeing the comment here from Sim Racing Realtor. That is, I believe, Jordan Barry, one of our 2 admins for the series here. He says, rumor has it they can stretch it into the 60s. Now you don't need to save as much fuel if we got that caution flag.
If they can stretch it into the 60s, I think they might be good. This really makes it interesting now. Either that or you see a bunch of guys that have to pit on lap 64 and take the penalty.
Yeah, that's... could be a developing storyline. Cody Brooks checking in on YouTube. Thank you very much, Cody. That fake crowd looks super excited, at least. Hey, the pretend race cars get a pretend crowd to go with them. However, our guys are really talented at driving the pretend race car. Thank you.
And the pretend crowd is good at like holding the same flash open every single lap.
That is affirmative. Now they're starting to behave themselves a little bit here, Patrick. You kind of settle in, you make up some ground where you can make it. At this point, we're down to 12 laps to go in stage number 1. I guess this is sort of where the cerebral part of the game is going to start to come into play. If you're towards the back half of the top 10, Justin Michael, even Tim Knott in 9th, Richard Fletcher in 11th. You want to get inside the top 10. You want the points at the end of the stage. But the reality is it's really just not worth using up the stuff for either.
No, if you're back there in 8th, 9th, 10th, or even further back, just sit where you're at and wait till stage 2 to try and claw for it. Never mind the tires, it's just not worth it to tear the race car up this early. With the way these guys are racing, it's pretty close and pretty tight out there.
I almost wonder if there's a short pitting strategy that could come into play here. Because if everybody's going to make a stop later on in the green flag run, could it be worth it to stop at like lap 35 or something like that? Then everybody else stops under green, you cycle yourself forward.
I don't know if I would take a short pit like that. Now, if you do, it's a gamble that you could pay off to work. But at the same time, I wouldn't really go a lap down and get trapped a lap down when that caution comes down.
Yeah, that's true. I think that the strategy call really only would have worked if the race had gone green all the way. But now if they could already go 60, maybe 62, they probably could get to 65 with that caution. It's a big-time gamble, but if you're somebody like Lee Campbell, Richard Smith II, Thomas Wilhite, maybe that's an opportunity that you try to take. Just say, hey, I'm not going to get there on outright pace. I'm going to have to skunk them on strategy.
Yeah, and that's something we saw work really, really well last week. So I'd be willing to bet some of these guys are a little more willing to take a risk this week. It's still a long season, ton of races ahead of them. So why not take the risks early and try and get yourself in a good spot before you have to dig for it?
Gap to the leaders is closing. Johnny Avila and Kevin Dick are making up ground here. The gap is right about 1.2 seconds for Johnny Avila, 1.6 for Kevin Dick. As they start to close in, and Tyler Seville, Daniel Pinkston going to run side by side. Okay, and yes, the schedule information, by the way, that we had was accurate. I'm thinking that today is not March 1st, but it is March 1st. Good God, how did we get to March already? AJ Digby battling with Daniel Pinkston and Justin Michael. Next week, we'll be at Phoenix, followed by the off week at March 15th. So the off week... Yeah, so the off week will be the week following build. Your race leaders still sitting about 0.2 of a second apart here. AJ Digby, Justin Michael, this is about the closest fight on the racetrack right now. In fact, it is the closest by about 0.2 or so, as we're on lap number 26. Since the very early caution, we've been clean and green. Show you the race summary here. 2 leaders, 1 lead change. 1 caution for 4 laps. Johnny Avila with the fastest lap of the race, 178.951 miles per hour. As we get down towards the end of stage number 1, got to make sure we say a huge thank you to all the sponsors that help make the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series happen. That includes your title sponsor, Sim Speed Shop. Check them out online at simspeedshop.com for all of your button box and steering wheel needs. Whole bunch of hardware going out courtesy of Sim Speed Shop to our 3 sub-season champions along with the overall season championship. Northland Leisure putting up the cash sponsorship for the stage winners. That one will be awarded here in 3 laps. Realty Executive Saskatoon putting up some money for the fastest lap of the race. That one, as we saw just a minute ago, belongs to Johnny Avila. Custom Paints and Diecast putting up the hardware for the hard charger and the biggest loser of the race. Johnny Avila has caught Craig Stykes and Hunter Waters. We may have a battle for the lead here at the end of the stage on our hands if Johnny Avila decides to be aggressive. As they work...
Now,
Go ahead.
I thought Johnny Avila had a damaged car.
He did.
I guess it ain't that badly damaged.
He's going full Dale Earnhardt. See if that thing will crank. Get out my race car, boy. Through 3 and 4. Green and white
He's got a run.
Yeah, he's got a good run. Green and white checkered is in the air, and it will be Hunter Waters picking up the win in stage number 1. Man alive, Johnny Avila now getting up to the Harry Gant line. We got to get Hunter running up there. The Harry Gant line, the Skull Bandit, way up on the outside of the racetrack was where he absolutely loved to run. Waters going to lead that lap, but it's only going to be about 2/10 from first to third. How about 1/10 from first to third? Kevin Dick going to be right there as well.
Johnny Avila getting a little squirrely up there.
Oh, man. 4-car battle for the lead, and how about this one a little bit further back? Bring this one up in the side-by-side. We've got 2 3-wide battles out on the racetrack. A.J. Digby, Will Wursler, Tony Patton fighting for positions 7, 8, and 9 as Stykes goes to the lead. Avila around Hunter Waters on the outside. Good Lord, this racing has been just fantastic at the front of the field.
Yeah, Johnny Avila is really going to have to try and chase down Craig Stykes. I mean, obviously he's fast. He's got the iRacing to back it up. And Johnny's got a damaged car. He's been the champion here a couple times now, but I think he's got some good competition.
Yeah, now already working the fifth lap of stage number 2. I guess this is where are you starting to try to position yourself if you're at the front of the field? I mean, I guess if the top 4 are this close, it really doesn't matter if you're first or you're fourth, so long as you're there at the front when it comes time for that possible green flag pit stop.
I would say the most important thing is staying in the lead lap, which hasn't seemed to be an issue yet for any of the drivers, but you never know. Someone could burn up all their stuff and start slowing down really, really quick. Johnny Avila seems to be pulling Craig in just ever so slowly but surely. Hunter Waters now going for that Harry Gant line. Just needs to bring it up just another car with higher.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what may have happened here to Lee Campbell. Looks like, because he was definitely off the pace here for about 6 or 8 seconds. I'm not seeing anything on the replay. Richard Smith II coming around Tim Knott. Here comes Johnny Avila. High, wide, and handsome through 3 and 4 on Craig Stykes.
I do see in front of these cars a little bit of lap traffic, so things could get a little spicy here.
Trying to take a look and see who that could be. I believe I could be
JD Wardlow.
Yeah, it looks like JD Wardlow. Man, Wardlow's got a handful out up there as well.
Oh man, Craig
Whoa,
Sykes.
hold on to it, Sykes. What a save off of turn 4.
Hey, Travis Pastrana, you can't just save a race car down the entire front straightaway like that. Holy cow, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, let's back that one up and get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. That 57 starts to break loose. trying to chase it up the racetrack. Wow, what a piece of evasive driving that was by Justin Michael, but great save. However, that is going to put Stykes back to the 6th position, and he is well out of range of your race leaders now.
Yeah, but he's still got an undamaged race car. Throw a fresh set of tires on it, and you'll be all set. If anyone should take the short pit now, I think it'd be him.
Yeah, you have to wonder. I guess the only problem is if somebody, and that is just one car, can make it all the way to the caution, it completely blows up the strategy for everybody else that may have to pit before that window comes out. Oh man, JD Wardlow, big dive down to the inside of the racetrack. Good battle here between AJ Digby and Tony Patton. We'll get that one up in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. The battle for second continues to rage. Those two have to single file out as they came up on the lap car of Wardlow. So Johnny Avila now holding on to the race lead. Hunter Waters, Kevin Dick, Justin Michael, Tyler Seville, the top 5. $20 laps or so to go here in stage number 2. And then we get basically the whole second half of the race is stage number 3. That tells me we are absolutely going to see at least one green flag pit stop. And then who knows who will have saved extra sets of tires for a late race run.
Currently, nobody's used any, have they?
The only car I would think that has used a set of tires, JD Wardlow likely took one. He's got 1 lap, it's showing me on this stint. Andrew Moore Jr. is out on the racetrack. I would imagine he took a set as well. Possibly even Johnny Avila as well. He stopped under that first caution.
Yeah, but that was to fix damage. I don't think I saw the car go up when he was in the pits.
Yeah, I would tend to think that would be, especially that early in the race, I can't see any reason why you would take tires there.
Now, Andrew Moore Jr. is a trooper for just going on when there's 19 laps down. There's no hope he's going to pass anybody. But if they do wad some race cars up and take some cars out of the race, those are free positions for him. So that's the only reason he's out on this racetrack. Once we get to 19 to go and there's nothing left for him to possibly pass, I imagine he'll park it. There's no reason to go out there and risk another racecraft penalty.
Coming up on the lap machine of JD Wardlow. Justin Michael down just in front of Hunter Waters. Man, that was tight. Good side-by-side battle between Kevin Dick and Tyler Seville. Got them both up on the screen here for you. One is the battle for second, one the battle for fourth. Want to remind everybody, give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from, what you want us to talk about. We like to chat with you guys, too. I mean, I like Patrick and all, but he gets a little boring to talk to after a while.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
I do have to say, Patrick showed up at my house today with a just legendary gift. An Indy 500 Atari cartridge to add to the collection here. Copyright 1978 Atari Inc. Patrick saying in the pre-show, finally I've got something, a sim racing thing that's older than I am. Not by much, though.
You know, the only piece of sim racing gear I have older than me is my copy of NASCAR Racing 3.
Which is kind of comical because the wheel and pedal combo that I use to drive is older than you.
Yes, it is, and that should really be changed.
Eventually.
I bet you can find something 10 years newer than that rig you've got at the thrift store for $25.
I would be willing to bet I could find something really good over at simspeedshop.com, title sponsor of the Sim Speed Shop Premier Series.
That is very true, and they make stuff that's much nicer than my sim, your sim. I think it might even be nicer than Jason Owens' sim.
Possibly. Although if he hears that, he may be off buying new stuff.
Well, the last time Jason Owens was on one of these broadcasts, he was Googling and Googling over the Sim Speed Shop stuff. So I wonder if he spent some money over there and hasn't told us.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. So, looking back through the field, there are a couple of battles here a little bit deeper in the pack. We'll pick up this one here. Tom Wilhite, Richard Smith, Lee Campbell, Tim Knott. They're all within a couple of tenths of each other, especially going back from Wilhite, Smith, and Campbell. This is the battle for position number 11. These guys trying to get caught up to Fletch. Fletch just inside the top 10 and earning the playoff points, or I guess the stage points. Stage point for the 10th position. I'll tell you what, with the season opening win at Daytona, that really has set Richard Fletcher up to be maybe not a player for the top 5 in the championship, but that solid top 10 mid-pack kind of points run, he's putting himself in a really good position to make some waves in that midfield battle.
Not only that, it seems to have, for lack of a better term, lit a fire under his ass. Dude's been incredible this season so far. Completely unlike the Richard Fletcher we saw last season. He's been finishing races. I'm commentator cursing now. I'm going to knock on some wood here, but dude's been fantastic so far this season, and I really hope he can keep it up because he's been awesome.
Yeah, pull up the spotlight box on him here. He's running 10th. He started 11th. He was as high as 4th after that first opening laps melee. Kind of falling right back into that kind of middle of the pack run, but when that's what you're shooting for, he's in a pretty good spot here. This comment is a little disturbing.
Oh, it's our friend Gary DeMoss.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to look.
Him totally did not steal Jimmy Vasser's tire car during Daytona 24. Someone else stole it. You just rode on the back of it.
Yes. Oh, I'm not even going near that one. Johnny Avila, Justin Michael battling for the race lead after coming around the lap car of J.D. Wardlow. This is going to be the battle for the stage points and the playoff point that goes with it, although I guess we don't have the playoffs per se.
No, it's a Raw Championship battle, fight to the end, just like 1998. The only difference that we run versus 98 is we run double file restarts with a choose rule, and we don't race back to the yellow. I think that's pretty much it for the rule set.
I believe so. Man, what a battle for the lead here between Avila and Justin Michael. I'll tell you what, that battle for third's a pretty good one there as well. Bring that one up on the side-by-side for you. That's going to be Tyler Seville, Hunter Waters, and Kevin Dick battling for a spot inside the top 5. Now down to 2 laps to go. Oh, buddy, Johnny Avila.
Almost contact.
Wow. That was a moment. I'll tell you what, man, Tyler Seville has managed to save some tire here. The king of the tire save in the Sim Racers Club, he's doing it again. Closing in, I just don't know that it's going to be enough. But I'm sorry, it's not 2 to go. It's going to be 5 laps to go now here, because it's going to be lap 65, not lap 60.
I do want to say, I hope Ford wins this race. I just got paid my dividends from owning Ford stock. They gave me 58 cents, which is incredibly generous of them. So I'm really pulling for any of the Fords out in the field tonight.
Taking a look at your highest running Ford Motor Company product, that would be, let's see, I believe, that would be Richard.
The only.
Richard Fletcher in the 10th position is one of the 2 Ford Mustangs.
Now, I'll take a top 10, but knowing how Fletcher's been doing, I think he can get the dub tonight.
Tim Knott on pit lane. Oh, are we going to see any of the leaders have to pit? 14.63 seconds. The time of the stop for Tim Knott. Race leaders coming around Daniel Pinkston to put him a lap down. Here comes Tyler Seville. Looking inside of Avila.
Danger zone now. I got Kenny Loggins playing in the background. You know, Top Gun. Got planes flying overhead. This is getting nuts, man.
Paul Tracy is losing his mind.
Well, Danica's not here and her feet ain't out.
Yes. Tyler Seville inside of Johnny Avila. I don't know that Seville's going to be able to catch up to Justin Michael, but man alive. Now, my gut tells me if they're racing this hard, they're not worried about fuel at this point.
Either that much or they don't care. These two guys are some of the best friends I've ever seen on sim racing. So just running side by side, they might be throwing all the numbers out the window and just racing because it's fun.
Well, Johnny Avila's been one to tell us before. He doesn't do the math. He doesn't have the fuel calculator. He listens when the crew chief comes on and says, yo, time to pit. I guess that means it's time to pit.
Better yet, if AJ Digby's in the race and AJ Digby's in the team call, he listens to what AJ Digby says.
Yeah, I was going to say, AJ Digby is an absolute master of fuel mileage. But I think we've seen Johnny Avila absolutely cook off his tires. Oh, yeah, that car way loose.
Slideways. Is slideways a trademark Dale Earnhardt term? Are we allowed to say that one? It is iRacing. He is one of the owners of this. So
man alive. Off at turn number 4, green and white checkered will go in the air, and none too soon for Justin Michael. He was sideways off at turn number 4.
So we've had a new guy as a pole sitter, a new guy win stage 2. Things are getting shaken up here in the Sim Racers Club.
Just a little bit. Waiting for 10th place Richard Fletcher to come across the line before we see the caution fly. Now the caution is out. Craig Stykes has to come down pit lane out of the, well, he was in the 9th position.
And that is going to hurt him because that is going to be a penalty for entering a closed pit, and I believe that's going to be at the very best an EOL, but that might be a penalty he has to take under green as well.
Daniel Pinkston also on pit lane, so that will be entering a closed pit penalty as well. 15 seconds, Stikes is down and away. I'll tell you what, something tells me these guys at the front are really happy to see this caution flag.
Oh yeah, they're going to be desperately needing it. I wouldn't be surprised if we go on board with some of these guys if they've got the car shut off and they're just coasting.
Well, let's take a look here. Yeah, you can hear it. No RPMs for your race leader down pit lane.
And if no one else is catching him, that means they've all got the clutch pushed in, sitting in neutral, just coasting down that pit road. The fans in the stands, they wanted to hear the action. They wanted to hear these cars scream, and, well, they're getting a Tesla showdown right here.
Yeah, top 8 cars down pit lane. Now here comes 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Everybody on the lead lap making their way down pit lane. Who can win the race off? Looks like it will be Justin Michael, Tyler Seville, Kevin Dick, Johnny Avila, Hunter Waters, your top 5. All really quick. 15:38 the time of the stop for Michael.
All of these drivers are almost hitting that blue cone. What did that blue cone ever do to you? All that blue cone does is prevent another Kevin LePage. Like, you guys should like that cone.
So here comes Justin Michael around Craig Stikes.
Craig Stikes looks like he's going to have an EOL here. Might be pulling down in the pits to let that happen pretty easily.
Yeah, he's going to come down pit lane. He'll take the service again. Let's take a look and see who we can find to possibly talk to here. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can't talk to our race leader. Let's pick up Justin Michael, picking up the stage win. I'll tell you what, bud, the car looked really good out there. It was fast late in the run. How are you feeling about things tonight?
Yeah, this thing's a handful to drive, but definitely in the long run, we'll figure out how to make it fast for sure.
Now that we're kind of past the halfway point, we're working lap 69 under caution here, so that's nice. But what becomes the thought process here? One stop the rest of the way, split it up in half, and call it a day?
I'm pretty sure we can make it on gas from here, so I don't think, unless there's a yellow, there's not going to be any more pit stops.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I guess it would be, because we're inside of the window here where you're halfway. So, all right, Justin. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. Thank you very much for checking in with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I find it funny that he's not worried about pit stops, because I'd almost be worried about someone taking the short pit. You saw how squirrely and loose and kind of slow these cars got as the run went on. I'm almost wondering if maybe a guy like AJ Digby, a guy who does the numbers, is seeing that and going, hey, it might be fastest to pit 30 or so laps from now. And take that pit stop, take even just right side tires, and then go back out there and absolutely eat the field up.
Well, choose rule is in effect, and it will be Justin Michael and Kevin Dick on row number 1. AJ Digby and Tyler Seville on row 2. Digby, that purple and white machine, to the outside. Tyler Seville down on the inside of row number 2. Row 3, we'll have the 63 of Johnny Avila and the 7 of Hunter Waters. Will Worsler and Tony Patton lining up on row number 4. Row 5 looks like it will have Lee Campbell and Richard Smith. Lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. We're going to go back to green flag racing. Working lap number 70 of 117. Yeah, 47, 48 laps to go. Something tells me this is going to be a fantastic battle to the end. But we haven't done one in a little bit. Y'all at home, go ahead and crank it up. Lap number 1 of the third and final stages in the books, and it will belong to Justin Michael. Johnny Avila outside of Will Worsler, Richard Smith outside of AJ Digby. Battle for the race lead as well. Kevin Dick getting a great run off of turn number 2. Easily able to clear Justin Michael. That will be another new race leader, Kevin Dick. I tell you what, Patrick, I'm starting to wonder if AJ Digby might not be trying to play the long game on tires here. If you're going to play it, you have to start right from the drop. We talked about the fact that you need those first 5 or 6 laps to really bring the tires up to temperature before you start abusing them. AJ Digby possibly going big brain here.
Yeah, and you cannot overheat them either. You have to really baby them, let them come up to temperature very slowly, and then you can really push. So I imagine you might let Johnny Avila by here. He's going down for the bizzle a little bit, but not really pushing as hard as yet. And isn't that what... Didn't he win the race last week doing that, or...?
Well, sort of. He won the race by playing a great strategy call with tires, not taking them early on, and having the extra set in the box. Now, everybody is going to have the air quotes extra set this week.
Just going to be a matter of do you take it in the box. But even still, if he falls to the back of this pack here, and the caution were to come out, he's got nothing to lose by then.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty smart play. Don't try to cook the tires too early. Interesting, they've already caught up to Craig Stykes. Stykes went a lap down as a result of the penalty for pitting early. I wonder if Stykes had to make a pit stop here under green. Doesn't look like it, so.
He may have had to do a drive-through, though. I don't know if your software will register if someone just does a drive-through instead of coming to the box.
Yeah, it should. Should's an operative word tonight, though. Take a look at your race summary. 5 lead changes amongst 5 drivers. 2 cautions for 8 laps. Johnny Avila still holding on to the fastest lap of the race. That one presented by Realty Executives Saskatoon.
I was watching those Canadian guys on TikTok from Saskatoon. It seems like a real interesting place. It almost seems very much like middle of nowhere Ohio, except with a lot more snow and a lot less corn.
So you are degrading the people of Saskatoon by comparing them to those from Ohio.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I drove to Ohio last weekend just for the fun of it. I drove out there for some Chinese food. I have very low standards.
There's a story to be told there, but it's going to have to come off air. Now, Craig Stykes is racing himself back onto the lead lap. If we get a caution flag, he'll get to run the entire way around the racetrack, possibly stop with the leaders, or at least stop with the lead lap cars, and put a fresh set of sneakers on. So Craig Stykes hoping for a caution flag in the very near future here. Unfortunately for him, that's not something we usually see a lot of in the Sim Racers Club. These guys are typically really, really clean.
I know in the Winter Series, I think during the whole season, we had 5 cautions for a total of like 20 laps in the whole season. So it's pretty impressive. It was almost like running a D-Class series where there's no cautions, except we weren't crashing. It was incredible. We ran flag to flag at Bristol.
I don't know that that's ever happened before.
I think it has on air here in the Sim Racers Club.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, they did that, I guess last season.
Yeah, they did that on the air and off the air for the Winter Series. These guys are talented.
Yeah, taking a look at the numbers, I mean, the lowest I rating in the field is an 1182. Now, again, we talk about the fact that you can't judge I rating.
A lot of these guys are only league guys.
Oh,
so,
buddy, one car bouncing off the outside wall. I think that was Will Worsler. It was.
I will say, I had almost a 3,000 I rating at one point, and this is one of the few leagues I've ever raced in where I had to put in hours of practice each and every week. I've been putting in practice every day for the road course races that we're running later this season that I'm going to go be a ringer in. These guys are tough, these guys are fast, and they whoop my ass pretty good.
I say, you don't have a prayer against these guys, even on the road courses.
I beat Johnny Avila at Watkins Glen.
Isn't that because he wrecked himself out?
Yeah, but I still finished second, only behind Tyler Seville. Now, Tyler Seville totally didn't beat me by 39 seconds, but we're going to ignore that.
Yes. I'll tell you what, Will Worsler, for pounding the outside wall at the exit of turn 2, car does not really look that much worse for wear.
And he just pancaked inside. That just makes it go through the air more easily. Plus drag.
Are we seeing a little bit of a push, though? Because as these guys start to come off, especially off at turn number 2, the cars just feel like they're almost sliding sideways across the racetrack towards the outside wall. That eventually is what turns into the snap oversteer off of turn 4 later in the run.
Yeah, understeer very quickly turns into, oh crap, oversteer very quickly.
Man, this is crazy. All the way back to 10th place, Tony Patton right here in this league pack. Actually, Thomas Wilhite is right at the end of it as well in the 11th position. Tim Knott running about 5 seconds behind the race leaders, and Knott was one of the cars involved in the early race antics we had going on. Let's go on board here with Richard Smith II for a moment. Seeing Richard Fletcher down off the racetrack. He's heading for pit lane, may have had an incident. Smith continuing to run outside of Tyler Seville. Andrew Moore Jr. having an issue as well. He is also on the pit lane. Man, I'll tell you what, the gyro cam on board here with Smith. Oh, big. Oh, hold on to it. Wow! Sideways, hold on to it. Spins down to the inside, contact with the inside wall. We will stay green. Looks like Smith may have to come to pit lane. Take a look here from the NRN drone. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Richard Smith II on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay.
Oh, man. And he saved it. Ah!
Almost.
No, almost.
Back out on the racetrack, though. Starting to see a little bit of separation here inside, well, I'll say from about 8th on back now with Tony Patton right at the end of this line. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here, Patrick, at what point, if you're Johnny Avila, Hunter Waters, do you have to start to make a move? I mean, they're only in 4th. Craig Stykes in front of the field, but he's not the race leader. At some point, though, do these guys have to start charging here as we're down to 25 to go?
I think absolutely. I mean, you've only got the goodie on the tires for so long, and you're either going to burn them out racing the car, or you're going to burn them out just sissy-footing around the racetrack. So you might as well use them while you got them.
Well, and if you've been saving a la Tyler Seville or Johnny Avila have been known to do, now's kind of the time where you might have that little bit of good left where the guys ahead of you don't.
And that's a perfect time to pounce. Once those guys start slowing down, you can really just dive a nose underneath them, or even just exiting the corner, dive out a little bit lower than them and a little bit faster, and really get the move done down the straightaway or into the next corner.
I mean, these guys are a full second off their best lap pace. In fact, Kevin Dick is about 1.3 seconds off his best lap pace. Last time by for Johnny Avila, a 31.8. 31.9 for Hunter Waters. Kind of the same lap times that Justin Michael and Kevin Dick are turning up front. Maybe you kind of have to find something else, whether that's use the draft, run a different line. You're going to have to do something to get around these guys.
Now, I'm just doing some quick math back in my head, but I don't think pitting now is going to work if you wanted to take that strategy, because if these guys are only a second slow and there's 23 laps left, you're going to go a lap down if you go down the pit lane. That's about 30 seconds for that lap, plus you got to do it again. I don't see it working out.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you come in for a pit stop, but it's more of you have to do something different than what the guys ahead of you are doing.
Yeah, obviously you can't drive through a car, so you can catch him running the same line as him, but you sure as hell can't pass him running the same line as him. That was the hardest thing for me to learn when I was getting into dirt cars and iRacing, because it's really easy to find the grip. It's hard to find the grip elsewhere.
Yeah, you kind of have to do some hunting and searching. Maybe even for a Hunter's Fried Pickle. That number 7 machine now showing some pace, looking outside of Johnny Avila and getting that pass made. Now he's going to work on Tyler Seville.
That's one thing I miss about living in New York. If I wanted B-dubs for a fried pickle right now,
Oh, buddy, hold on to it, AJ Digby.
He holds on to her, and he's still got it.
Wow, great save off a 4 for Digby. Man, this is really where I start to get a little bit concerned if I'm these 3 Will Worsler Racing guys. it's almost like you're hoping for a mistake at this point. You're a half second back with 20 to go. In fact, you're losing ground running side by side while the race leaders are nose to tail.
Yeah, it's better, especially since all three of these guys are teammates, is line up, get in a row, and just freight train these guys, and then go have at it and have fun race.
Well, they're going to get some help at the front because Kevin Dick down to the inside. They're going to catch J.D. Wardlow in a really bad spot off of turn number 4.
Wardlow pushing up, he's a bit sideways in front of them. Oh, man.
Oh, 18 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Oh, we got our buddy Robert Kreiser checking in. What's going on, man? Hopefully you and your brother, your whole family are doing well out there, getting ready for another season at Lanco's Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway. I think they're fixing to kick off in about a month or so. We might have to make a road trip out there, Bizzle.
How far is Lanco from here? How far is Lanco from Grandview?
Hour and a half.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
On my way to Ohio, I actually passed Port Royal Speedway. I know where that is now, and it's too far to drive in a night. I would need someone to come with me and be a designated driver.
That is correct. However, not all that far from State College. Only about 40 minutes from State College.
That is true. State College is about where it started snowing on my drive home on Monday.
That doesn't sound like fun at all.
No, it was not.
The battle for the race lead is still side by side. Johnny Avila is back around Hunter Waters.
So are you saying we go to Port Royal and then just stay with your kid at her dorm?
Negative, Ghost Rider. Plenty of places to stay in Port Royal. Gary's saying I should come to Daytona for the Rolex one year.
You absolutely should. We steal tire parts and break in the suites. It's more fun than you'll ever have.
Yes.
And security wakes you up right at sunrise. So it's perfect.
J.D. Wardlow back off a pit lane. Oh, man. He's got the inside lane. Johnny Avila up the middle. Kevin Dick on the outside. Man, and if Wardlow has tires, which I think he may, now he's going to back out of it. 14 laps to go. Tom Wilhite back out onto the racetrack as well. You'll see him down on the apron. This is exactly what Justin Michael wants to see. Johnny Avila may have been saving some tires, but now he's got to race Kevin Dick hard to try to get past him. Use up whatever good was left in those tires.
These lap cars getting out of the way, this comes after Talladega last season, where a lap car got in the way of everyone, ended up wrecking part of the field. So that's been a huge discussion in the pre-race drivers' meetings is, hey, if you're a lap car, we're getting to the closing moments of the race, and you're not really in it to win it, just pull off and try and stay out of the leader's way. Obviously, they don't have to, but it's a really respectful and nice thing to do, and it's kind of the camaraderie you see in the Sim Racers Club.
Last lap by Justin Michael, 32.265. Johnny Avila, Kevin Dick, both at a 32.3. They're losing a little bit of ground, but now Avila able to clear Dick at the entrance to turn number 3. Tyler Seville, Hunter Waters going to keep battling side by side. Cue the Jaws theme here with 11 to go. Johnny Avila has had a wild night tonight. Was as high as the lead earlier in this race. Started 8th, involved in the early race incident, fell to 16th position and he owns the fastest lap of the race. Now the question is, with 10 to go, is he going to have anything for Justin Michael?
Those stats aren't unlike Johnny Avila either. He's built up a bit of a reputation of almost winning the stage and then spinning out right when the white flag for the stage comes out.
Gary DeMoss saying custodial, not security.
Maybe that's why we weren't kicked out of the Speedway.
Allegedly.
Allegedly not kicked out of the Speedway. Allegedly broke it. Is it really breaking in if they leave the door unlocked?
Yes, it is still breaking and entering. The gap is right about a quarter second. Johnny Avila cuts almost half a tenth that time through 1 and 2. Here's the move down to the inside. Michael gonna try to squeeze. Tight. The drag race to the line, that time by it was Justin Michael by half a car length. Michael able to clear Avila off at 2. Did Johnny burn up his stuff? He heads up to the high line. Just remember, the statute of limitations has not run out based on the discussions going on in the comments.
But yes, but it was a general admission event, and the door was unlocked, so I would assume it's allowed. General admission.
You're generally admitted anywhere you can get into.
Exactly. Some of the other suites were locked. I couldn't go in there. This one was left open.
Oh man, that was
Johnny
only.
Avila taking the lead over the front stretch.
That was a couple of hundredths at the start-finish line that time. Oh, big twitch there out of Justin Michael. Right at the midpoint of the corner, that car just snapped loose. What a save for Justin Michael, but now he's going to fall back into the clutches of Hunter Waters and Tyler Seville. Johnny Avila holding 3/10 over Kevin Dick as they come off turn 4, 5 to go.
Tyler Seville now going to be looking down the inside.
Wow, man, that 87 machine is just used up.
Oh, that thing looks scary to drive. That looks like my kind of car to drive.
I was going to say, that's something you would enjoy.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Now the question becomes, does Kevin Dick have anything for Johnny Avila? The gap's sitting right about 2/10. It's going to be 3 to go this next time by. And if the caution comes out, we will have overtime.
Overtime might put these guys to where they need to pit for fuel. If you're going to pit for fuel, you might as well pit for tires.
Yeah, see, I don't know that they're going to have to pit for fuel. It was only like 48 laps, I think the number was, when we went back to green. The problem is if A.J. Digby or Will Worsler pit from 6 or 7 for tires, they're going to absolutely swallow these guys up. Johnny Avila hoping that discussion doesn't come into play, though, as we're down to 2 to go.
I see Avila having to chase the race car up the racetrack just a little bit through the tri-oval, so that might be a chance for Kevin Dick to pounce, especially if Johnny really has to chase it up.
Johnny's hoping Tyler Seville can make up that last little bit of ground and get to racing with a 52. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Can Johnny Avila hold on? Man, he is really chasing that car up the racetrack now. The lap traffic just ahead will not come into play. Off of turn number 4, the car looks almost planted. Checkered flag in the air. Johnny Avila gets the win at Las Vegas. Kevin Dick, Tyler Seville, Hunter Waters, Justin Michael will be your top 5. Oh, man. We've got to find this one. Replay, please. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Let's bring it up here. Off the final quarter, nothing there. Will Wursler holding on over A.J. Digby. I thought that looked like that was a pass that was made, but...
That was a flip from last week.
At GM Goodwrench Plus, number 63 looks good. Let's bring you your race results as the Will Wursler team gets ready to absolutely burn the place to the ground. Johnny Avila, the winner by 4/10 over Kevin Dick, Tyler Seville, Hunter Waters, Justin Michael, your top 5. 6 through 10 going to be Will Wursler, A.J. Digby, Tony Patton, Lee Campbell, and Richard Smith II. Back through the 19th position, Craig Stykes, Richard Fletcher, J.D. Wardlow, Tim Knott, Tom Wilhite, Daniel Pinkston, Andrew Moore Jr., Troy Haight, and Brad Allison was a did not start here this evening.
Chris, I'm confused. Is this how Xfinity cars are made?
What a shot there for the Will Wursler Racing team.
Absolutely putting on a show for the fans. They always do.
That's well done. Oh, there we go. Now they're starting to blow engines. Let's see. The other one we got to find is Kevin Dick. Let's get him up here for the interview. Well, we're going to try to get him up here for the interview anyway. But we will start tonight with our race winner. Let's see. Well, we're going to back up the replay here and get everybody ready to square away so we can talk to our race winner, Johnny Avila. We'll bring him up to the booth with us and get the chat fired up. But I'll tell you what, Johnny, that car looked like it was an absolutely monster handful late in this race.
Oh, yeah. Like, you have no idea. I think on that first run when we pitted on lap 65, for whatever reason, the left sides wore out more, but my left front was 70% and my left rear was 45%. So that split should just tell you how sideways that thing was.
How do you and again, this is just me being, well, quite frankly, not good at the driving these things part, but how do you manage that? Like, it seems like the car's going to start to go away one direction, and now all of a sudden you're feeling just absolutely crazy things through the wheel. If you got a butt kicker, you're feeling it there. But you don't have that real-world seat-of-the-pants feel of, oh, I'm actually feeling this going away.
Yeah, it just, you kind of get used to the way the camera looks when the car starts to yaw out. Also, the feeling in the wheel, like, my steering wheel going into the corner was a little tight, so it's like it's heavy. But then it starts to feel light, and when it starts to feel light, that's when I know my rear end is starting to slide. But that first run, there wasn't a lot of managing. It was kind of just going, turning right, I saw Tyler and shoot, what's the other guy's name? He was really fast today. Justin. They came up and got me before the end of the second stage. They did a good job of saving their tires, so.
Now, let's go back a little bit to the very beginning of the race, because you had the contact with Tim off of turn 2. It looked like you bounced off the wall hard. You took about a 30-second pit stop. Was that a whole lot of damage repair, and how was the car as quick as it was after that?
These next gens are kind of like tanks, so as long as you don't break a toe link, you're good. It was one of those situations. I don't know if everybody knew we were 3 wide, so stuff happens. But I hit the wall. My crew chief said I had wheel damage, so that was nerve-wracking. I pit. It was like 33 seconds of damage, and then as soon as all that damage was fixed, the car felt pretty fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, you put on a heck of a show here, and looking early season at the points, this is definitely the kind of start to the season that you wanted to have. You came in 1 behind Hunter. You're going to leave here with the points lead. Got to be feeling good as we head next week to Phoenix.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to be in the points lead. It's also great winning, but this race was definitely a lot of fun. I got to thank all my teammates because I joined right when qualifying started, and then I just had like question after question after question, and they're all very nice and helpful. So, big shout out to the whole team.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, great show tonight. Thank you much for coming up to hang out with us. And before we let you go, do all those sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Well, I don't got no sponsors, so I got to thank you guys up in the booth for broadcasting this amazing race. And the admins that put this race together, both Jordans and Sam, they do a hell of a job running this league and making sure things are run fairly and smoothly.
All right, bud. Well, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And let's bring up our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Kevin Dick. And I tell you what, Kevin, we were just talking to Johnny, and he's talking about how much of a handful the car was. How ugly was it from your driver's seat, and kind of talk us through how you were able to manage each different segment of the race?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, the car was a handful if you definitely push it a little bit too hard. You had to really control your mid-corner speed, so as long as you did that, and then just was nice with it coming off, you could usually hold on to it pretty long. The toughest spot was probably coming off a 4, but no, it wasn't too bad. You just had to really be careful with it, just baby it around.
Is that difficult to manage when, I mean, you're running side by side with people, you're trying to do all the mental gymnastics, that is, don't overdrive the car, don't kill the tires, and at the same time you want to drive hard in advanced positions. That has to be a little bit tough to kind of reconcile that inside your head.
Oh, it definitely sucks. You can just see the car in front of you and you know you want to go get them, but as soon as you push, you know it's not going to go, or the tires aren't going to stick. So it's almost like you got to save, but you got to be ahead when the tires go to shit, so then you at least can defend it. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, fantastic show tonight. Congratulations on a good points night. Think you're going to leave here second in points is at least where my back of the napkin math has it. So congratulations on the podium finish here. And before we let you go, thank all the sponsors and do all the plugs you got to get in.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Jordan with Custom Paints and Die Cast, always painting great looking cars. Give a shout out to Sam and Jordan again for running this league. Pretty great league. And I give a shout out to you guys up in the booth.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And let's bring up Tyler Seville, our third place finisher here tonight. And Tyler, this one was really interesting because we were trying to figure out if you had tires saved for the end, what was going on inside the car there late in that run, because it looked like you may have had a little pace and you kind of just ran out of time.
I think it was that. Hunter and I were in a heck of a battle where we were side by side there for what felt like 5 laps. I think that pretty much equalized my tires. If I probably could have got around him within a lap, I might have had something for Kevin and Johnny. But there at the end, everybody's just holding on.
Yeah, it seemed like that was Kevin said the car wasn't that crazy hard to drive, and Johnny said he was all over the place. What were you feeling behind the wheel of the 11?
I was good until the very end of the runs, but I do a pretty good job of saving tires and drive conservatively. I would say, but it was on the looser side. But that's just for my taste. That would probably be like in Johnny's wheelhouse.
Yes, crazy loose and running every lane of the racetrack. Well, I'll tell you what, man, congratulations on the podium finish tonight. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. This is a big points night for you. You were the high gainer after last week, moving up 9. You're going to move up a bunch more tonight. So congratulations on that. And before we let you go, do all the sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, shout out to Chubby's, the sponsor on my Toyota, and then a shout out to my teammates. Congrats to Johnny on the win. Hunter, Will, and AJ all had good runs. Shout out to Richard, and welcome back Craig Stykes. Hopefully he gets to run some more races with us.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. And, man, I'll tell you what, Patrick, this was an interesting race tonight because we had the early cautions. We went green to the end of Stage 2. We were entirely green for all of Stage 3. Kind of what we expect out of the Sim Speed Shop Premier Series. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing next week at Phoenix, though.
Phoenix is a whole different beast from Vegas. Phoenix is a mile-long track that races like a short track in one half of it and a mile and a half in the other end of it. So Phoenix is its own beast.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think we'll see some good racing there, though.
Yeah, I would tend to think that's definitely one of the directions that we're going to see is what amounts to good racing, maybe not light the world on fire kind of stuff, but the Sim Speed Shop Premier Series, these guys are known for putting on a good show when it's time to get the run in late in the race. That one's going to be fun to watch next week. We've got a whole lot coming up here as well tomorrow night. Week number 12, the final week, the championship night for the USF 2000 Championship, the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, and it's coming to you from Watkins Glen International. I can't wait. That is going to be such a fantastic show for both of those series. We'll make our 4th and final announcement of new content coming. We've announced the Lotus 79s. We've announced the Lotus 49s. We've announced the Silver Crowns are coming back. One more coming up tomorrow night. And something tells me you're not going to want to miss that one because, well, it's going to be a party. We'll say it that way. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be pulling off next season.
You know,
yeah,
all 3 of those series you just mentioned are fantastic, and there's only one series I could think of that's better than those. And y'all are gonna have to wait till tomorrow night to find out what it is.
Yeah, there's that one. We may even look into doing some of the Cars Tour events that are coming with the new late model. D-Class car, top split races for those can be an absolute blast to watch. Especially, go ahead.
That car is where I got most of my first wins on iRacing, and I might go back and drive them if we're getting a new car. It should be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that late model. That's something tells me that could be how I build the iRating back up. But that'll be a different story for a different day. With that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. Enjoy the real world racing this weekend. I forget where the NASCAR Cup Series cars are.
Somewhere out west.
Yeah, they're
Probably
somewhere
Vegas.
out west. Actually, it might be Vegas this weekend. IndyCar season kicks off in St. Petersburg, Florida. The long 6-month wait is over. If you're a fan of the NTT IndyCar series, looking forward to all that. F1 kicks off their season as well. With that
I'm really a fan of Indy NXT. I just like the name, how it coincides with WWE NXT as a made-up thing.
Yes. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't need my blood pressure to go up right now. We're getting the heck on out of here before I mute Patrick and blow his mic up or something. For Patrick Byrne and everybody else here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.